bringing to you live a Phantom Blades build. Now this is what I'm using as my primary ranged build, and I have to admit that so far this thing is incredible. This is a build that I was using very heavily throughout, let's see, the entirety of my initial playthrough of the game, and I kind of almost found that it was a bit easy mode. So I'm just going to go ahead and run through the skills, where I got ideas from, and such like that, so that way, you know, again, full disclaimer, and I'm going to go through my gear, passives, the skills themselves, the skill passives, and then I'm going to be doing a demonstration in the endgame content. So when I get to that point in time and you don't want to see what the endgame content looks like, please exit out of here and go away. But if you want a quick look into what I'm doing, feel free, stick around. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to say is that since this was my first character, I had no idea where to even start. And there is one YouTuber in particular that I trust, especially when it comes to builds, and that is Riker. And Riker was using the skill setup you see here, and I kind of tweaked some things here and there, and my passive tree and the attributes that I chose was completely on my own. I didn't look at anything. I just kind of said, alright, well, these are the skills that I'm using, and this is what I want to do. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is the main reason why this video is being made, and I am using Phantom Blades as my primary attack. And it is amazing. I mean, as you can see right here, I am throwing two. They are on a charge. They don't cost any resource, but if you do use them real quick, back to back, you are now out of attacks for a little while. But luckily, in this case, for this build in general, the main attack that you have, or yeah, I should say your default attack that you have, is pretty darn strong in and of itself. And not only that, but a passive that I chose brings this static transferal in here to give you overload points, so that way if you are using that and you turn around and use Phantom Blades again, it's going to be that much more powerful. That's the beauty of this. Okay, so moving on. The next ability that I took was the Death Gazer Railgun, and this is going to cost resource, so therefore I'm going to have to pop a pot, charge it up, and then kabam. Now the reason why I have this, because the Death Gazer Railgun is indeed a great single target. It's not even really single target because it passes through everything. It is armor piercing. It will go through anything, and that is the reason why I use this, because there are a couple of mobs that have shields, whether they're bubble or whether they are some of the Republic enemies that have these big shields that will reflect your attacks back at you. This is a great ability to have if you can keep that dude away from you long enough to pop one of these attacks off and at least stun, break shields, something, so that way you can do your other attacks, or if you can get them closer to you so you can, say, get a turret behind them, in my case. Alright, the next ability is the Ether Jump. This is a great mobility tool, and I'll show you how and why I have it set up like this, so you can see what passives to take in order to get that. What you saw left behind there were decoys. They are aggro getting. They will help you, especially since you're not going to be the strongest in terms of being able to take a hit. So you want to make sure that you have something to keep hatred away from you, and that's a good way to do it. Otherwise, I use another ability called Livor Mortis, which is essentially a tank. And I have them built in a way to taunt, to take damage, and to keep stuff away from me long enough for me to shove a couple Phantom Blades up their rear. So the last skill that I have here is going to be the turret. There are two ways to do it. You can either do it like this and put it down and get some extra damage in, and that works great. Matter of fact, that is my preferred method of using this particular skill. The other way to do it, and what I don't like, is that the hold button, or if you hold the button down, it'll do something differently. But the thing is, that hold is not very long, and sometimes I find myself doing this alternate method of fire when I don't want to.
Not
this is what it
possible.
looks like. Oh, not yet. So it's fun, it's cool, but it also takes away the amount of damage that I can potentially put out if I were just to put it down and fire with my guns or my blades or any other ability that I have. It does take damage on its own. It does have the capability of tanking, if you will, because mobs can attack it and therefore taking the hatred off of you, and it works wonderfully. Alright, now that I've gone over the basic skills, let's go into each individual one. They're the actual passives that I have. So I am level 49 right now, so I have 8 modifier points, and that is only going to go up as I go up in level. So you have a lot of choices here, but these are the ones that I decided to choose based off of Riker's suggestions, and then I tweaked things here and there and added a couple things because I do believe his build was an early level, and now I like I said, I'm like 49. So when I first looked at it, he only had a few of these passives put in there. So I've got weapon damage plus 20%, ailment damage. So the this isn't something absolutely necessary. The ailment here is shock stacks, shock chance, and shock duration. That is not absolutely necessary, but if I take it off, I don't have any other abilities to choose, which is why it's there right now. Reduces reload time for charges. This is, in my opinion, mandatory because you want, as your primary attack, your primary damage, you want these to come back to you as soon as you possibly can. Increases the area of effect. Make it as wide as you can. There's no lack of benefit here. You're not losing damage. It's just making the area of effect bigger. So take it. The other is critical chance score, 40%. Weapon damage, another 10%. And then here, another critical damage. So I want these to do as much damage as possible, as quickly as possible. And I did look at some of these other abilities, but I didn't necessarily like them long term, especially since it's going to be my main ability. Therefore, I want it to do damage quickly, kill everything quickly, do tons of damage to bosses, and I don't necessarily care about whether or not they explode because I don't plan on anything being alive when I hit it the first time, especially in large groups. Everything should be dead or close to dead by the time I get there. So if my blades don't kill it, my turret's gonna. So that's the idea. Alright, going into the Railgun. Let's go check out that Railgun. Railgun passives. I do have an extra passive here. Anything I care about? Not necessarily. Alright, so let's go through these. Maybe I'll be able to find something. Okay, ailment. There we go. The ailment stasis stacks in this case, so it does have a chance to stun. And that's all well and good. So if I really wanted to, let's go ahead and do that chance score. There are other abilities here, such as increases stamina regeneration. That's great. Grants rage if fired at the first charge level. I'm not going to be doing that. If I'm going to be using this ability, I'm going to make sure it's fully charged as much as possible. It can leave a trail in the path of the sniper shot. To me, it's just not really all that beneficial. Area of effect with each charge expands outward rather than inward. I did try this. I didn't really see the benefit in that. Maybe I'm just not understanding how it works, but if the way I see it, you should be able to just pop it off real quick, or either that or fully charged, you get wider area of effect. I couldn't really tell based on the damage I was doing, which is one of the reasons why I don't necessarily like this ability all that much, because the damage that you're doing is very kind of spotchy. I mean, right now at level 49, I do anywhere between 7,000, crit, 7,000 crit to 21,000 crit. So, but yet my blades pretty regularly do about 12,000, anywhere between 7 to 12,000, and you're just like bam, bam, and it does a really good job with that. So I didn't take it. All right, anyway, moving on. Rage cost minus 44, because if I'm trying to get a couple pops off of this sniper rifle in a big fight, like say against the first, second, or third act bosses, I don't want to have to sit here and try to fumble over rage, because in this build, that willpower is filling more often than your rage, because you got to use willpower in order to get it, and it's just kind of a pain in the butt, which is why I rely heavily on that willpower potion. Increased critical chance per charge level. It's another reason why I want that. I want it as nice, tight, narrow as possible. Charge it all the way, and then kabam! Already showed you that. Critical damage plus 100%, absolutely. Grants an additional charge level, so that means you're able to charge it for that much more. Alright, moving on. Ether Jump. This is where it gets real fun. We have got willpower cost minus 13, which is fine, especially if you're going to be popping off a lot of them in a short period of time. It's a great way to get around maps, especially if they're big areas and you're just trying to explore. It increases teleport range. I mean, in my opinion, these two kind of go without saying, and I do believe that they are mandatory, as well as leaving a decoy behind when the teleport is activated. Now, one thing I do have here is allows the skill to be cast multiple times. Each recast has an increased willpower cost with a cooldown of 10 seconds. I do believe that this is mandatory to be able to pop it off. Otherwise, if you don't have it, you're going to have that cooldown at 10 seconds, and it's just kind of a pain in the butt. So minus those 10 seconds, use it as often as you have willpower. If you absolutely have to pop off a couple more willpower potions, you can do so, but it's a great way to get around, especially when you're trying to keep your stamina points up, and I'll show you why later. This is going to be your get out of dodge ability. So since I do have a point, let's see, gain willpower for each enemy pass through. Don't necessarily want willpower. Gain willpower. Ailment, status stacker, okay. Casting removes all crowd control effects. I guess on myself, okay. Yeah, I definitely don't need that. So if I'm gonna go for anything, let's go for that, because every now and then I do get frozen. It's not very often. I mean, really, this character doesn't get CC'd nearly as much as my melee character. All right, we've got Livor Mortis. So this guy's, in my opinion, a must for the build, because you want to take as much aggro off you as possible, and this guy does, and I say fairly good job of it. There are times this dude just stands around, does nothing. That's one thing I kind of wish they would do, is fix the AI. If you attack something, this dude needs to go into battle, alright? At least attack your target, for crying out loud. Sometimes I just want him to attack my target. Like, for instance, the guy will be taking on ads during a boss fight, rather than kind of helping me get the boss away from me. Like the Act 1 boss. It's like, dude, this guy is decimating me. Take some aggro. Increases health for summon. A portion of the damage received by me is transmitted to the summon. So in other words, any damage that I take, a portion of that is going to go to the summon. I don't care if he dies. Summon generates more threat. Absolutely. That's his job. Increases health. Increases health. There is no damage going into this guy. I don't care if he does damage. I do the damage. And the last ability is going to be the turret. The Avenger auto turret. Now this is a sweet ability. There's one ability that I thought was going to be really cool, but I didn't like it, because there is a cooldown, and really by the time that you get that second one out, it's already too late, especially if you have the rest of your build solid. So I am not taking the Twin Repeater for that reason. Turret stays active for a longer duration, absolutely. Cooldown -1. You want to be able to pop off as many, or you want to make sure it is available when you need it. So when it goes away and you still need it, especially on longer boss fights, get another one out there as quick as you can. Weapon damage, yes, I want it to do damage. In this case, I need it to do damage. This is going to help increase my damage output a ton. Increase critical chance, and then an absolute must for this build is this flak launcher. You can take, I don't care how you build this, you can do whatever you want for anything else, but this is probably the #1 mandatory. I don't even know why this is a passive ability, because this should go without saying. Turret can now rotate and auto target enemies. Before, it would just shoot in a straight line. That's it. Nothing else. So now you can actually get it to auto target enemies, and that's really helpful. Okay, So to give you a quick run on what I've got for my attributes here, I am definitely stacking more ferocity. I want them crits. I want them crits. As much crit chance scores as I possibly can, give it to me. Health is also going to be my secondary because I'm squishy and I want health. Force shield as well. So I did kind of try to stack up a little bit on that. For a while there, my primary was toughness, with my secondary being agility, my tertiary being ferocity, but I kind of since switched that around and made attack speed score is great, but it's not something that I need because I can do that as fast as I possibly can. I mean, that doesn't really... It's not absolutely mandatory that I get a lot of them out really quick, because the idea is I'm putting one out, I'm doing some stuff, getting another one out, and it's doing a crap ton of damage when it's doing it. So here's what all of it here looks like. Average damage 2830. Excuse me, sorry about that. And physical, toxic, you know, I'm definitely mostly doing physical damage here. Sorry, I had to tell my dog what to do. Health, force shield, resistances here. Oh, you know, this whole time I was like, what is material, elemental, and occult? Duh. Okay, I'm still learning stuff as I go, so. Alright. If you have any questions, let me know. Alright, now off to the passive trees. So this is where all the power comes from, and I definitely very much stuck to the green trees. One thing you'll notice here is that I did delve into the force shield, I went into health regeneration, but I didn't go too terribly far. I did not go into dodge, I did not go into a whole lot about my force shield. I definitely didn't take that because I didn't feel like it was going to be necessary. I did go for that 25 to toughness. I could go with this, but it's not mandatory. What I did go for was making sure I got that this 3 stamina points when at 30% of max health or lower, because if I ever got in a pickle, I want to make sure that I can get away, and I don't want to be limited to just 5 of those stamina points because I'm trying to make a quick escape, especially if my ether jump is down. I could also go for this plus 4 damage per missing stamina point, but I haven't found a great need for that because I have ether jump, so I shouldn't be using it a whole lot anyway. Now that I'm jumping between characters, that's probably not going to be the case because I get used to using the stamina on one character, not so much for the other. But so I may end up taking that later on just to cover my own butt. But what I do have here is plus 20 damage when at full stamina. A lot of the nodes that you see here are going to be geared towards that projectile damage, as well as getting critical hit chance scores, like what you see here, attack speed, critical chance, critical damage, movement speed, and agility, and also projectile critical hit chances, +1 to pierce, especially when it comes to just doing regular auto attacks. I mean, having your normal attacks pierce through enemies, especially when they line up for you, it goes without saying. The Phantom Blades do pierce all the way through across the board. They are not limited to just like 1 or 2 baddies there. Projectile speed, get them attacks out there quicker. You don't have to worry about it just being slow. You want your projectiles to get there. That, and I mean, it's not like, I mean, if that was there or not, I honestly don't care because this is what I really wanted. 175 all projectile damage scaling with distance, so that means the farther away I am from that enemy, the more damage I'm going to do at 15 meters. Deal increased damage when far away from the enemies. We got another one here, so this is kind of like a sub to this one here, but this one's going to be when at least 6 meters away from all enemies, along with -2 distance for that, and +10 damage when so right now it's basically at 4 meters and more is what I do increased damage, and I'm doing 10% extra damage on top of that. You'll see that I focus a lot on projectile damage, movement speed, attack speed, stayed away from the dodge there, more maximum health, and I'll probably end up, I'm not going to be going that route. I might end up choosing this later on. I did choose this +1 projectiles. This is why I have 2 Phantom Blades. So this was the main node that I wanted to go for. Like, I didn't make a beeline for it, but it sure as hell came in handy when I did get it. I mean, I got some other things needed because I was afraid I was going to end up fighting the first act boss with low health, low damage, so, but, I mean, so what it does is it splits your normal shot into two, and each of them do half the amount of damage. But together, which most of these are going to be attacking a single target, they're doing a pretty good crap ton of damage. More projectile critical hit, 25% more crit. Other nodes that I've got so far, I went into the Alistair tree, is to, that's the overload, that's that revolver looking thing that's down there at in the middle of my screen. 6% damage per overload point, which is what I get when I use my normal attack. And that builds up, and so therefore the next skill that you use is going to do increased damage based on the amount of overload points that you have, 6% per. Focused on attack speed, damage, raw, attack speed, damage, attack speed, crit. Yes, that's exactly what I want. I also got increased attack speed score anytime that I do crit, so that's another reason why I'm stacking that crit chance, stacking that crit damage, because I'm gonna be getting more shots off quicker the more I crit, so that's outstanding. What I'm probably gonna end up going for next is right here. Overload points are halved instead of set to 0 when consumed. I definitely would love to be able to pop off 2 shots with my skills without having to take that that hit. Now, what this doesn't say is whether or not I'm dealing half the amount of damage. I guess it would go without saying. I don't know. I'm going to be focusing on that 8% force shield. I will not go into lightning damage. I haven't decided whether or not I really want to take these. To be honest, I haven't really decided at all. What I might end up doing is going down this route here. Rage cost, willpower cost reduction. Get into here, same thing. Toughness. Maybe not. Start kind of focusing on my health, especially later on, because things are getting kind of crazy. 10% cooldown reduction. Do I need that? Not really. What I would like to do is, it says here 12% melee damage and 12% critical hit damage. Now, does that necessarily apply only to melee hits? I don't know. It just says melee weapon damage. But if I can still get that crit, that would work. But I haven't planned out that far yet. So I'm still working on it. If you got any ideas, hey, you know what? I'd love to hear it. I might even go down to the soldier because they got a lot of cool damage down this way that I can stack, and that would be kind of fun. Alright, or I could make a beeline this way into some of these other nodes here. That's an idea too. So, anyway, moving on. Now I'm going to go ahead and do some endgame content in the form of expeditions and message boards. So if you do not want to see this demonstration and you do not want anything spoiled, which there are no story spoilers at all, it just kind of shows you what all is going to be you're going to be doing for the next God knows how long until you hit level 90. Then go ahead, turn it away. Otherwise, here we go. I'm going to do an expedition.
What do you want?
I'm going to actually do something I haven't done before. I'm going to max out these modifiers on veteran mode, and I want to see, I don't want that, specialist enemies have plus 76 maximum. I want to do this. I don't know what it is. Lure Untainted. So the big difference with this is that you will be rewarded at the end of the expedition instead of receiving loot drops. So I have not yet seen exactly what all this means. So let's check it out. Let's check it out. You're entering the Wrath of Saracel. The game mode is best enjoyed as a multiplayer. Okay. Best enjoyed. You know what? With that being said, I think it might be a good idea to not do this when I'm on a stream. I don't want to fail too hard when I'm trying to show y'all a build. Because if this is saying that I should be doing multiplayer experience, then it's probably geared to a point where I shouldn't be alone. So anyway, so we'll go with these modifiers. Max amount of magic find, plus 32% item quantity, and also 60% productivity, which is what's going to help me with building the city after it's been destroyed. Alright, here we go. Pop open that rift portal so we can get on in there. There are 3 levels, and you will have to fill up a bar, and I'm stuck. There, you have to fill up a bar. Oh. I definitely accept. Absolutely. Jinjin! Jinjin! Can you come take Bali out, please? Oh, you're not supposed to hear that. So as you can see, I was just tearing through these bad guys, especially when they're tightly grouped like that. And what you can do also is on your Liber Mortis, you can activate the ability again in order to get into it's only useful if he's actually standing next to the bad guys that you're wanting him to taunt, which honestly happens very often. See, as you can see there, the damage wasn't...
I need more power.
It's a hit or miss. Yeah, like I said, I'm in a bad habit of using the wrong ability there. My guy died. No, he didn't. So what I like is that my regular attacks are pretty darn strong in and of themselves, so I'm not necessarily worried that I don't have any charges available for my blades. Oh, and the real reagent. That's for crafting, so I've got to make sure I have that. This is going to make it so I have my apocalyptic form. Sorry for screaming in y'all's ears. I'm still feel kind of bad about that. I thought I had it muted. My bad. It's very satisfying when these things just kind of explode like that.
Can't manage that right now.
probably gonna get a chance to listen to my dog this way, so you're just gonna have to deal with that. He's going crazy.
I can't do that right now.
I just love it when they just line up for me. I don't know how much the health that guy had or how much damage I just did, but that dude got wrecked. He's chasing his tail right now. Yeah, get it, puppy. Push to talk comes in handy. And that right there was an example of
It's not possible.
not wanting to do that ability, but it did it anyway.
It's not possible.
No. Made short work of it. No problems, no problems. And then at the end of each of these, you get to the opportunity to go ahead and sell your things, so that also comes in handy. And just in case you're wondering about how this endgame stuff works. Now, at the end of each of these, you will be awarded productivity, which means that start projects on the city map, and in order to build some of the stuff that was destroyed throughout the story, and it costs a certain amount of productivity. Like, for instance, I'm doing something right now that is 2,000 productivity, but I'm only getting maybe 100, less than 200 for each of these like big expeditions. The smaller ones that are only like one level. Hold on a second. Hold on. Oy, my dog was going absolutely nuts. Alright. Cool. It's a good thing I moved. I wasn't planning on moving. I was like, I killed the guy.
I need more power.
It's also very slow to turn. So that right there was not a typical red item. That's just a nifty die. The first time I saw that, I was like, "Ooh yeah!" Oh. Of course he dies. These guys had a lot of flippin' health. Definitely not clicking with that body. Maybe explode.
Not happy.
Oh, sweet. Get
Not
a
possible.
beetle. And it's running away. Better go.
That can't be done.
You know, I have to admit though, it is pretty satisfying to see that. Alright, so time to loot. And it looks like, and there's also optional areas in the already optional area. So, sweet. And I always get a lot of loot in these. And yes, I am definitely having way too much fun. I like showing off this, some of these builds that I've been having a great time with. So. Especially since it seems like my melee one was a little bit more popular than I'd say some of my other videos. So take advantage of it, right? See if people like what they see. Probably end up just finishing this expedition and then probably heading to bed. Yes. Not being able to target certain bats. That's always fun. Alright. Lots of gold over here in that corner. Lots of loot, that's for sure. I did say I was going to be getting an increased amount of quantity. That's for darn sure. Where is that thing?
I can't do that right now.
Alright, that other big guy must be over here somewhere. the red beam targeting me? Yes, it is targeting me. That's kind of how I know to get away at a certain point in time. Otherwise, I'm doomed. And they don't do like a crap ton of damage, but they do enough to where it hurts.
That's not happening.
Although I also have one. See how I have a red beam as well. But if you see me running around when you see it, that's because I'm trying to get away from it. Oh, I didn't even show you my gear. I did forget to show my bosses should be coming up here soon. Second level. There we go. Filled up that bar. Line up for me, pretties. Oof.
That's not happening.
Oh, shoot. These are the guys I was talking about. This is the reason why I have the Railgun. So long as I don't let myself get
I need more power.
All right. Oh, I love getting these legendaries while I'm streaming. That is always nice. Let's see what we got. Oh, and it's my kind of legendary too. Yes. Not that much of an increase there. More of an increase there. So I should see that go down. Yep. Okay. Outstanding. Outstanding. Definitely need to sell. One second, please. I need to... Sorry about that. A little delay. I needed to send a text out real quick. Alright. Some of this stuff. There's no way that any pistol is going to be better than what I'm using right now, so just moving on. I'm sure that some of these other things like that helmet whatnot will probably be good, but I'm not really worried about it at this time. Gotta clean out the inventory while I can, because I'm going to be going to the last one, the last level here. Alright, no extra bonuses. Okay, cursed chest. I definitely like those. Oftentimes you get a pretty good chance for uniques. And legendaries. Not always, of course. Alright. Sorry about that. Dog was being very, very, very antsy today. Not sure why. Usually he's pretty good with me. I think he knows that, you know, I'm trying not to necessarily be bothered that much.
I need more power.
So he's like, I'm gonna make things hard for you today. Satisfying. Satisfying kill. He killed my dude, though. Line up for me. Move! No, you too, dude. Just gonna get blown up like that? Come on, man. Those explosions on the ground are more of an annoyance than anything else. That first shot was like a throwing the glaives in the dark. I didn't necessarily know. Ooh.
That can't be done. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Pants. All right. Moo. Moo to you, too. Oh, yeah, cow level. Yeah, I know. I actually kind of felt like a little bit of the cow level there. All right, so... Let's see. Man, oh man. Well, I'm definitely not going to be using that, so let me at least get something that I could potentially use, which I'm not. But pants. I got some red pants here. Resource generation, health generation, wisdom, crit chance score. Now these actually make things worse. And these aren't... Can I even gem those? I don't even think I can gem them. So not all legendaries are all that great sometimes, but it also depends on what you're trying to play. So this is wisdom, even though that this is a heavy. I can't see this benefiting a heavy player. Added block chance and would allow any weapon to block. Ooh, that might... I don't know. Lose that much. Let me try it out. Just see if I benefit from that block thing. Especially if any weapon can block. I mean, that's really the key there. Yeah, there's no cow level. It's just the bear level. Call it dubbers. Yeah, it's true. Did lose quite a bit of health, didn't I? 2,000 health. Yeah, that was pretty substantial. You are absolutely right. It's a pretty looking greatsword. Almost hate like leaving so much of those around. The old pan had 500 health. Yeah, and that's one of the main reasons why I'm even wearing them to begin with, is because of that health. Came in handy for that last boss. Come on, walk across. Yeah, they get blown up.
Can't manage that right now.
God, do it anyway. Alright, it got really empty. There we go.
Can't manage that right now.
Yeah. Yeah! Look at all these pretty items. Holy moly. It's a ton of them. Guess one thing that's kind of nice about games like this is, I mean, chances are, especially the yellow items, I mean, they're pretty common, so I'll be able to find good stuff later on. More often than not, they're not that great anyway. And for me, it's like if it's not absolutely obvious, and chances are I'm not going to be even trying to compare.
I need more power.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
Oh yeah.
It's not happening.
Okay.
Not possible.
A guy is such a negative Nancy. All he ever does is just say no, not gonna happen. Just say yes for once, man. Come on, bro. Oh, shoot. Yeah, that dude needs to die. Holy crap. That wasn't even the boss. Those waves are never fun, though. Well, that was satisfying. I do like getting those anoraks, though, for a much-needed resource. Oof. Not throwing away that. Steel belt. Okay. time for boss. I gotta find him. It's probably this way. And then I can show you the rewards that you get. He didn't drop much of... Didn't really drop much of anything. Yellow item and a couple of interacts, and that's these things right here. Speaking of which, a couple of them I can use because I already have the ability. What is this? The flight? Oh, okay. It's like Thor's hammer. And right now, because my inventory is full, I can't really pick up anything to even look at it.
It's not possible.
Ah!
Feeling better already.
I was like walking right into where I wasn't supposed to be. Can't die anymore. Back off. Alright, here's the boss. Should be the last thing I need to do.
You can't do that.
How about we not do that? Alright.
I can't do that right now.
Okay, sweet, dead. So you can tell it was the last one because a portal opened and it was just to Stormfall. Didn't drop anything good, so I will go back to town. Yep. Alright, so once that's done, you get to trade it in, but let me...
Hello there, friend.
It gives you an
Please,
item to
browse my
sometimes.
wares.
So let me go ahead and do this, and then I'll go ahead and...
Take your
Kaboom.
coin and leave me in
So this
peace.
means that that renovations achievement that I just got showed that one of the renovations is completed. I got 90 productivity. So out of all that, I only got like 90. And like I said, one of the ones that I'm working on right now is like 2,000. So you can just imagine how much I'm going to need to do. So this is what it looks like. So you wish Seeker's Garrison has now been renovated. Scores of new Seekers have been trained and are now awaiting your instruction. Yay! So, renovate the refugee camp. I have 374 applied out of the 2,000. And then I go through and I just build these up as I see fit. But some
hey
of them
there.
have prerequisites.
I was just telling this young
So on this
a
one,
tale from the glory days.
it looks like it only
Perhaps
requires
you'd like to
40,
hear
so I can go ahead and do that, and that'll be a quick kill. So the next expedition that I do, it will... I can do another one.
My lord, do you have a minute?
If I can.
Sure.
Excuse me.
Nope.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
My lord? Yeah.
One thing I wish it would do is tell me which ones I can afford. Just tell me, highlight the ones that I can afford, please, instead of making me click on each and every single one of these individually.
My lord, as we are expanding
Here we go.
Stormfall, the council have been discussing how important...
So this one I can. See, they're all different colors, so it's not like it... Yeah. Start project. So now I can do up to 3, and get it done that way. So anyway, all right, that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed. Oh, I didn't show you my gear yet. All right, the gear portion of it is not nearly as important in my opinion. I mean, yes, gear is very important, but it's not what helps make or break the build itself. I got very lucky and got a Regicide Mark III, which is very, very helpful. So pistol one hand with the catalyst in the other, in order to have abilities such as Libra Mortis and Ether Jump. So these are, this one in particular is very important. If you can get your hands on this particular book, I'd say this is super important. Are they in rows according to cost? No, they're in rows in accordance with their functionality. This particular chess piece I thought was very good. It's not necessarily something that I would absolutely need for my build. As you can see, dodge chance, got some attack speed, but you know, lightning damage, I'd probably use something like this if I were to go with some type of lightning mage or even lightning melee type character. These I got obviously for by chance. The belt, it's good stuff. But I'm not going out and particularly hunting these. I'm looking for certain stats such as ferocity, agility, critical chance, and critical damage and attack speed are the things that I'm looking for more than anything. Of course, having toughness, having health regeneration, bonuses to my energy shield are also something that I look for, but they again, those are different different prerequisites. When you say are the quest, yeah, the projects, yeah, if you like this, these are all organized by not necessarily cost, but by their functionality in here. So like these are going to be grouped: trade, salt baths. This could also very well just be like the location they are within the city. I mean, honestly, I have no idea how they group this, and none of it really makes all that much sense.
do you have something for us?
So, if I had enough money, I could do this one too, but I don't. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not really sure how or they decided to organize
Greetings,
this.
my lord.
Or if there's a rhyme or reason. All I know is that I kind of wish they would do something that would enable it to be better for me to see it.
Do you have
so,
something for us?
They do have here, like, I mean, obviously these are by cost, so you have aqueduct versus sewer renovations, integration networks. They just kind of expand upon themselves, so they cost more money. Top row. Yeah, that is very expensive, 100,000, a million, but down here, that's still 100,000, so, yeah.
Greetings, my lord.
This is 200,000.
I have a renovation project.
The city
that's what I'm saying.
of discovery.
I'm not necessarily sure as to how or why they did it, but some of the ones in the middle got 50,000.
Hey there. So
This one
I've been working on
anything.
something
It just costs,
you may be interested in.
different
You
kind of
know that
resource.
lovely
But-
magical
and it costs
energy you've
1,000,
got
or, I mean,
bubbling around
it
inside
requires
you.
1,000
Yes.
productivity on top of it. So, but I guess endgame stuff is really a topic for another day, even though I went way too deep into that just now. But anyway, it is just about that time for bed. Another day tomorrow. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and until next time, Horseman out.